Hello, fabulous superstar Gemini. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of November 2023. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. It is a remarkable astrological month, without a doubt. Big moves happening in the sky now. Boys, this is a very special time. The 13th of the month has a dramatic, unexpected new moon, and I cannot imagine everybody in some way not feeling as if at least one area of life just flips on its head in some way, or very quickly needs a burst of attention, of energy, and of impulse. Now, for you, this area of life lit up has to do with your daily life. So it has to do with either your work. So this could be your clients, your customers, your coworkers here, the type of work you're doing, or your general work environment, how it feels to be in there at that time. Outside of work, it can also speak to how well you take care of you, your health-related habits, your daily rituals, the little things you do every day as you move through your day, and the intention you bring to them or not. And so it is this new moon that is close in the sky to Mars. And that is the adrenaline, the urgency, the impulsive energy. It is also standing across the sky from Uranus. These connections, especially with Uranus, is with precision. And what that means is, if anything, it says that out of nowhere, here comes the wild card factor. It would be this. It is a new moon. And so new clients, customers, or coworkers can just pop up. Some might quit very suddenly, and because of that, very quickly you need somebody to take their place, and then that ends up being the new person. There could be changes in the work environment that move very quickly that maybe weren't anticipated or weren't expected. We do get these harmonious connections with Pluto and Neptune a little bit after the fact, and so it does suggest that even if there are changes or developments that feel like they come out of nowhere, feel like a surprise, very quickly you're able to adjust. You're able to understand the best course of action for you and how to approach it, and very quickly you find your groove as well. Now, if it is at this time that you feel an impulse to make a big health-related change, look, this is energy that's like cold turkey energy. That's what this is. And so very quickly you identify something, or you realize something, or you say, no, I want to do things this way as part of taking good care of myself. And some important, significant change does transpire at this time. Again, you're able to follow it up with faith and continuous action, but at least in the moment, it might feel a little bit like the inspiration comes, takes hold of you, and a lot can change very quickly. Ultimately to your advantage, I would say, with those harmonious Neptune and Pluto connections. There's every reason to believe that whatever's changing now will work to your advantage on a level of your life and, your health as well. If it is that it feels like you're getting some surprise out of nowhere news related to your health, I'm sorry to say, I know that that does happen, but it likely is not going to be that likely. But if that should happen, again, there's tools here that suggest you understand what steps to take. And there's every reason for hope that you can transform any situation very much to your advantage, to your benefit, and to your long-lasting longevity and strength. On the 27th of the month, we get this month's full moon. And this is an incredibly important full moon for you because it is in your sign. Normally, you get one full moon per sign per year, and this is yours, your moment. And this is where a lot of emotion is very likely stirring for you. However, there's also a lot of restraint here that is actually quite wise. The full moon is standing across the sky from Mars. There's a lot of impulsivity, energy, maybe even some sense of your buttons getting pushed or triggered in some way. There's this energy for change that can feel downright impulsive, that you feel very strongly. However, there is a square to Saturn taking place as well. And that is sort of the opposite energy because it is about restraint. It is about strategy and holding back. It is about deciding first what something, some impetus, some feeling, some event means for you before you figure out what you're going to do about it. But this is also energy about being real and being honest. That's the thing with Saturn. It always, in some way, correlates to needing to be honest with yourself. And so part of what you might need to be honest with yourself about is you, who you really are, what you really feel, what your priorities really are. With that Mars opposite this full moon, I do think in some way it may feel like you are challenged and you're wondering what you can do about it and what you want to do about it. Now, this could very well play out in a professional environment. And I say that because Saturn is at the top of your sky, having to do with career. But outside of career, it's about purpose, right? Your understanding of a higher purpose for your life, legacy, destiny you're creating. But that Mars opposite is there as well. And you put these factors together, and yeah, it could be that there's tension with someone. It could be a boss, or it could be someone that you saw as a business partner, a professional alliance. Now they're acting like the boss of you, or they become the boss, or you become the boss. So there's this power dynamic at play at the same time that ends up being part of the tension where you're figuring out what you want to do with that. Now, outside of that, it could be that someone has a certain opinion, someone you're aligned with, in a partnership with, about certain career goals or opportunities that could show up now. And so you're having to consider, in light of some feedback, what it is that you want to do. But remember, this is a full moon in your sign, which means that it really is all about you, who you are, what your priorities are, and getting very clear, if only with yourself, what matters to you most and first. That's where the point of clarity is. That's where the power is now. The power of emotional truth comes to the surface and can be a game changer for you. And for some Geminis, in truly sweeping ways, profound ways, even if it's not as obvious right away to everybody. Yeah, something profound and deep is shifting within you as you get clear about who you really are. That in turn changes what you want more of and what you no longer need in your life as well. Now, where it comes to matters of love, 3 days before that full moon, Mars moves into your opposite sign. And this is significant. First of all, Mars in your opposite sign, that'll be about a month and a half. And this represents a time when there's that much more energy and excitement and focus on another person. There's more courage in connecting with others or confronting others in some way. But we get that full moon in your sign, and that really is about all of your feelings very much on the surface. All of your feelings stirring for you now. And you get to decide what your truth is in the context of what's taking place in love. For those of you open to meeting someone new, Mars moving into your opposite sign, that gives you a whole lot of courage. Now add to this another layer. And that is that on the 8th of the month, we get Venus in a flirtatious and fun part of the sky for you as well. So you put these together and there's this real sense of adventure and flirtation with Venus, but also a real desire to partner up that may feel very strong. And for some Geminis might feel like it comes out of nowhere. But ultimately your truth, whatever that is for you and what you're really wanting, is likely to show up at that full moon. And I think that full moon with its square to Saturn, even the most open to the world types of Geminis out there might find themselves wanting love, wanting to pair up, wanting to be with someone where there's an emotionally meaningful connection, if you will, emotional significance, if you will. That may not necessarily be how it plays out, but that is certainly a strong possibility here. Now, the other possibility is your emotional truth might make you aware of what kind of relationship you do want or don't want, or past hurts that now you're ready to shift or let go in some way. Thanks to Venus in a fun, flirtatious part of your sky, Mars in your opposite sign, chances are you're having fun figuring it out as you go along. For those of you just starting to date somebody, I love how Venus is moving into that flirtatious dating part of the sky. Chances are you'll be feeling that much more excited. But I think with Mars in your opposite sign, it really becomes about, is this person partnership material or not? And I think at the full moon, that's when you're going to become more clear. You'll understand more about the dynamic and whether or not there's longevity here. When you are honest with yourself, it ends up changing everything. And I think there are going to be quite a few Geminis out there that feel that they are learning things now that either make this an all or a nothing situation. And for those of you in an established bond, well, given the placement of Venus, that's all about feeling loved, and at least you'll be having fun, which is beautiful, but it's that Mars that ends up being very dominant, because Mars is where you need to pour energy. And it may be now that either you want to or you need to direct energy towards your partner in some way. Now, if the relationship is good anyways, it could be that you want to share more experiences with them or be with them more. It could be a factor, a situation where it isn't so much about what you want or don't want. It's just that right about now, your partner is asking or wanting more presence from you in some way. But also possible here is if it is that you have felt some tension or that you're not in the right relationship for you, if that's been a pattern of any kind, well, Mars moving into your opposite sign can make your partner a little bit more challenging to get along with at all times. And so just be aware of that. You get to decide what you're going to do about that. But if you find your partner getting frustrated very easily or behaving in ways that are impulsive, you will at the very least be able to look at that truthfully and how that makes you feel as part of figuring out the next best steps for you. What I love about this month for you, there's so much here. It is a powerful and meaningful astrological moment. Well, I am going to say the full moon in your sign. It's a really big deal. It is going to be a time of emotional honesty and emotional truth. The truth of what you feel, even if it's been there all along, it's like finally you admit it. But then what are you going to do about it? That's a whole other thing. You don't have to do anything before you're ready to do anything, that's for sure. And it's okay to take your time and being strategic on whatever course of action you desire to take. But it does start with the truth. What do you really feel about a situation near and dear to your heart? Where it is good, your emotions are feeling like power. But where it isn't, right now your emotions are telling you some profound truth about what must change. Honor that, and you'll find true emotional peace. Listen to yourself now, because that is the pathway towards truly knowing and connecting more deeply to an understanding that really there's so much more to be, so much more to experience in this lifetime. Right now is definitely a part of you discovering some newfound and profound truths about you. It is part of the adventure. Well, thank you so much for watching. You can get a video like this each and every week for each and every sign at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com for as low as just $3 a month with choose your membership rate. Higher tiers get you things like all access passes to Synchronicity University events, consultations with me, and so much more. All of this in the Superstar space at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com. Links are in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. It'll be a great month. Enjoy.